Hey guys, this is my Wild Strike Pillar of the Caged God Marauder from the Warband server. Currently level 81, which is pretty easy even for a casual player. On the build, my goal was to grab all the strength notables, especially the ones with the secondary effects that are useful like Retribution, Catalyze, and I also wanted to grab a ton of jewel slots. And you want to get high stat bonuses and a useful third stat like attack speed generally. Have attack speed and high stats on that one, that one, that one, and that one. And then as you get into the upper 70s and lower 80s, you want to start adding some Brawn jewels to some of the further away jewel slots. Currently, a Brawn jewel gives me about 59 strength and 8 dexterity, the cost of 14 intelligence, which is pretty good. Since right here, this one, for 3 points, I get about 20 strength a point, a bit of armor, and a bit of dexterity. Pretty nice. And then other than that, you just want to get enough survivability so you don't die. There's still quite a few HP nodes nearby. 2 here, I'm working on this one currently, 4 here, 1 here, and each one of those gives a bit over 100 HP, so you can pretty easily get up to about 7,000 with a bit more leveling. You can also grab the physical mitigation nodes here for some extra protection against Abyssus. Could also go here and put a dex to strength conversion jewel to get about 64 strength for 5 points, which is decent. My gem setup, I'm only using a Corling on this build: Wild Strike, Multi-Strike, Blood Magic, and Weapon Elemental. For a 4-link, that gives me 24.6k tooltip, and since it doesn't calculate the conversion, that's probably closer to 28,000, which is pretty decent for a 4-link. If you do get a 5-link for this build, I would recommend faster attacks, but physical to lightning can also work well. Random Chaos Golem there, because why not? I have a Immortal Skull, cast when damage taking Blood Rage duration set up, so that I don't really have to recast Blood Rage or anything when I get into battle and to do some physical damage. Ideally, you would want to have this 6-socketed with a 4-link and then a 2-link probably, so you could put Blood Rage and Blood Magic there. That would allow you to level up Blood Rage for more attack speed. Then you could put Chaos Golem in there instead, so you don't have to recast it. Here I have a Leap Slam, Blood Magic, Fortify, Endurance Charge, and Melee Stun setup. This is aimed at reducing the extra damage taken by Abyssus. Hits fairly hard, about 9,000 damage per hit, so you can usually keep up the charges even on blue enemies. Here are my auras: Hatred, Bardic Armor, and Herald of Ash. Gives you some extra damage scaling with your Weapon Elemental gem. And then Bardic Armor reduces the damage you take since you're standing still to Wild Strike. Also chills enemies that are in melee range. Random Vengeance, because I have an extra slot in here, because why not? Wild Strike is a bit weak against single targets, so I have over here a Vaal Lightning Strike set up to take care of really tough single targets with Weapon Elemental, Melee Physical, and Physical to Lightning to sort of maximize the damage it deals. That'll put a 8.4 second debuff on the enemy that's hits for nearly 17,000 average damage per tick, which kills them very quickly. The items for this build are all pretty cheap. Pillar of the Caged God is about 1 alch. You can get a cheap Abyssus for 5 to 7 chaos currently. You can get a cheap Meganords for about 3 to 5 chaos. Get cheap Albrons for about 3 to 5 chaos. And then everything else is just strength, resistances, and probably craft life, because those items are usually cheaper. This was 1 chaos. This was 1 chaos. This was 2 chaos. 1 chaos. And 3 chaos. And that's about it as far as passives and gear goes, so without further ado, I'm going to do a random 73 alt map to show you the gameplay. 73 is where you're still getting 100% XP at level 81. Most of the time I don't bother keeping up my endurance charges, because it's just not necessary, but if you're a stickler for maximizing your build at all times, it's pretty easy to do, I'll show you. Every hit of Leap Slam gets charges and keeps Fortify up, and it does pretty high damage per hit. You can see that it a lot of the times will one-shot white mobs without any damage links at all.
Return to the dirt.
Here's a yellow mob, so I'll just tag it with Lightning Strike and it dies pretty much instantly from 2 to 3 ticks on it. Try to find a tankier yellow mob to show you the damage it can actually deal. One thing to keep in mind though is that Elemental Reflect really hurts this build, but the good thing is it's actually very easy to just swap your gems for Cyclone, since it uses the same colors: Cyclone, Melee Physical, Blood Magic, and then Weapon Elemental for this build. Since you're a conversion based physical build. Put Vaal Lightning Strike on that, and then I can just walk away and it's dead. That's how much damage Vaal Lightning Strike deals. If you're curious about DPS with full charges, I'm currently at 33.4 thousand, and since conversion isn't shown in the full clip with Weapon Elemental, that's probably about 39,000 total damage. And like I said, you can pretty easily get about 7,000 HP with some more levels on this build. Let's go find the boss so I can get a real Vaal Lightning Strike off. See how much it does without any other attacks added on. Kills him instantly. Well, not instantly, but kills him in one hit. You don't have to deal anything else to him. So that's about it for this build. Thanks for watching.